Let's go, jazz hands, guys. Come on, jazz hands. Here we go. Kevin Dixie doing jazz hands. There you go. Rod Mills doing jazz hands. Special guest star TIVan. Where is he? He's doing. There he goes. He's getting ready to do the jazz hands. There you go. We're getting it set up here. We are live. We are live.
Thank you.
I hope you got your big girl panties on. The TIVan Show is our special guest live. He's actually in the Big Daddy Gun studios. We're getting him set up because we just came back from shooting at my range, which is some distance from here. So that's why we're running a little late. Lots of stuff going on. I'm kind of like under the weather, but the show must go on.
Yes.
The show must go on. It must get done. So what is this? Episode 186 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Like I said, live from Big Daddy Guns. There's the TIVan Show getting set up. Can you hear us, man?
Yes, I can. How, buddy? How y'all doing? Kevin Dixie, I got to shoot the 50 count. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
That's how you're gonna start tonight. So that's how we're gonna start today.
No. I just want to let you know it's beautiful, man. I'm telling you, it's gorgeous.
We literally just started.
And already
build up, man. Already at it.
Yeah, already. Kevin right now is texting Walter like, "What the holy moly."
I didn't get one. I just got to shoot it. And let me tell you what, he had some World War II surplus ammo, and it's awesome. Hank's got the perfect range out there by his house, man. It's glorious.
Did he think that's making it better?
I don't know.
Not sure what he would.
Yeah, Kevin.
Man.
Besides, besides TIVan Show really like putting that knife in there real deep, man. What's going on with you, brother?
No. I'm just letting him know what he has to look forward to. It's not the knife thing. That's like, dude, you guys got to get down here, Kevin. It's gorgeous. The weather was perfect. We were out shooting. The goats were out behind us. No issues.
Goats are satanic. Okay, so it's been fun, man. I'm still recuperating from NRA annual meetings.
Right.
Still trying to get my energy level back up. But no, it's been fun, man. Sharing all of the cool things people want to see and trying to catch up with social media. And I'm preaching to the choir here, but trying to get some videos edited and get them put out and stuff like that. But no, it's been fun. I tell you what, man, even though I'm physically tired, annual meetings was a great rejuvenation. Meeting people and shaking hands and listening to the stories and just hearing people's perspectives. It was great. This year, I know if I didn't have 150 to 200 people stop me, it was awesome. It was great. So I'm rejuvenated, man. Just looking forward to the next steps. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree with you on that. That's the beautiful thing about going there, knowing that there's human beings out there that actually appreciate what we do. Yeah, absolutely. Gorgeous. And for everybody, I'm not quite caught up with the chat yet, but if you were there, thank you. If you wanted to come and meet any of us, thank you, even if you couldn't make it. And I mean, man, it's humbling, to say the least. I mean, I know we talk a lot of smack. I know we have a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. But when somebody, takes moments out of their day or minutes out of their day to stop you and tell you that they appreciate you, to me, call me soft or whatever, that means a lot. Yeah, absolutely. It does. So, and thanks for making it in, man. I know it was a wild, crazy time out there, which we're going to talk about. Yeah. Also at the NRA show is this dude, Rod Mills of Jacksonville, of the Jacksonville Mills. I was going to say of the Jacksonville Rods, but I mean,
Rod.
Yeah.
Hey, but to piggyback on what Kevin said, man, it was really good. It was amazing for me because, I had a lot of people came up to me and say, "Hey, Rod, I know you from the Hank Strange shows." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay. Hey, man, what's up?" I mean, so for me, it's hard for me to have a 5-minute conversation with anybody. I mean, especially somebody I'm just meeting for the first time and a gun guy. So, man, it will be 30 minutes. I'll be looking at, matter of fact, one of my buddies from New York, and Hank, you met him also. He stopped me. Him and I are friends on Facebook. A lot of times if I don't really know you, I don't kind of, especially if you're a guy, I really don't look at your pictures, on Facebook.
Really,
so,
Rod? I'm so surprised that you say that.
So, a couple of guys came up to me, man, and man, I was at the SIG booth trying out the 365, and also the M17. And one of the guys came up, and man, we were sitting up there having. I think we talked about 45 minutes of just straight, you know, with you, KD, the show, Dallas. But I do want to share a couple of, you know, I don't want to hog up the time here, but I do want to share a couple of special things. That Friday of, and Kevin, you know, I've talked to you about this. Well, man, I had the best time at the cigar thing with Barnauls.
No kidding.
Man, everybody was there. Pretty much, I'm going to say 90% of who's who in the gun world, Second Amendment world on Facebook, I'm sorry, on YouTube was there. And, you know, man, we were sitting up there, everybody sitting around talking like we all knew each other for years. And even though the drive was a little long, it was actually worth it, you know, because I'm calling Lola on the phone there. I'm like, Lola, do I have the right address? And she was like, yeah, you know, you're going right. And I'm like, damn, why is it so far? So, you know, I was like Kevin Dixie with the resting bitch face when I got out the truck. And then once I saw everybody, I'm like, oh hell! I got me a cigar, and Maj got me some. We did some shots.
Yeah, some whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 12 or 15 bottles of whiskey.
What's the name of that whiskey?
Wow.
Who remembers? Does anyone remember the name of that whiskey? Hold on.
No, I got a bottle of it though.
Yeah, I got.
Rod, did you drive from Florida all the way out there?
No, I'm not crazy, man.
What are you trying to say?
I fly. I have a rule. If I have to drive more than 6 hours, I will fly.
What's going on, guys? This is Katie.
Yeah, it's Kinsey. By the way, the whiskey that that Maj has is called Kinsey.
Mm-hmm.
Kinsey whiskey. So they.
I know Hank's new car's got room for 2 spots in the front, man, but he could at least got you up front in the trunk and gave you a free ride.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the good thing about it was that
it's big enough for a man purse.
My flight actually out there was free because of I just used my points on Southwest, and you know, I had a free flight, so I was good.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about all of that kind of good stuff. We're gonna have a good chat with TheTIvanShow since we got him here. We wrangled him in here. I just want to go through real quick and shout out everyone in the chat. I see Carl Compton, Joe Carpenter, Louis Valdez, Imposter. Let's see who else. SoCal Gunner also in there. Christopher Williams, Big Dick Willie.
I like that name.
Big Dick Willie is in here. He says hello, everybody. Richard Hughes. I don't know if he says it like that, but you know, he says hello. Richard Hughes is in here as well. Meatloaf Sandwich, William Hoffman. Magnum Boys says, "What's up, strange people?" Ghetto Hood Gamer is also in here. Strange Media moderator Gerald Loafers also in here. I think I said Hamburger Helper. I'm not sure. Lost in Outdoors. Let's see who else. The Archangel, Boss Hog, Michael Bender. South KC. And let's see who else. Let's go through.
I know Walter's not in the chat, but they're watching on the way back down to his place.
Right. DCG 44. Shout out to Walter and Will and Minnie, the puppy, the baby puppy.
Walter, can I get one of those T-shirts that TheTIvan has? If you're listening?
Dude. These things are like, you know, everybody gets a good T-shirt, but Walter got the right ones that the material is just comfortable. It breathes, but it doesn't make you hot, even for being a black shirt. I mean, it's a good quality shirt.
Oh, I think I'm starting to side with Kevin Dixie on this. How many of these shirts did you get? From Safety Harbor?
I got 2. I got a black one and a green one when we did the videos for the 50 cal last year, I think it was.
Oh.
So
okay, because Walter's kind of stingy with the shirts.
No, we got the shirts, but I got the patches, man. I got a whole stack.
Got patches too. Oh my gosh! Wow.
You just don't realize when you're making things worse, do you?
Yeah, I'm kind of mad.
I'm just messing.
Hey, you can buy them right there on Safety Harbor. That's where I got mine at.
Did you buy them?
Yeah, no, I got one free, and then I bought the other one.
He's just teasing you. Okay, Mr. FNH, also Nico Sauer as well, Armament and Axes. Let's see who else we got in here. STL Storm Spotter, Chris Bullis, Ridge Runner is in as well. Special K. Special K, Chris Illog. Now, I guess Chris Illog extended his name. Enrique Q, Bill Butcher, LV Louis Cypher. Bricks is also here. Greg 98K, Andrew Thomas, Travis Height, Music Lover, Matt Main, Highway Run 77, Glenn E. Bowling. There's lots of people in here. I see Peggy Keller.
Yes, she just put a special message in the chat.
Yeah, Peggy Keller says more shirts are coming, guys. Thank you. We would appreciate that.
By the way, Peggy is the nicest lady. It was an honor and a pleasure to meet her with Walter. Okay. Great lady. I
totally agree. I totally agree with that. What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say, Rod?
Can I get a free shirt, Peggy, please? And your cooking is second to none, Peggy. I'm telling you, Walter, you know, he's out of his league with you, Peggy. You know.
Wow. This is good.
Where is this going?
I don't know. It's getting deep. That's all I know.
Hey, I ain't too proud to beg for a shirt.
Oh, okay. All right. Robert Wicks is in here. C4 Defense. Richard Harper. Justin E. Nothing wrong with bagging. DC2 Mega Boost. Hey, yeah. What is it? I ain't too proud to beg.
Hey, Keith Sweat made a living out of it.
Yeah. John Drake as well. And I see Warsaw Patriot. Lots of folks in there. If I missed you, just give me shout me out here. I'll try to catch up to you. Okay, so TIVANShow, you want to tell the people what the hell you're doing here in the Big Daddy Gun Studios?
Yes, we decided to take a vacation and come down to Florida. Staying at my mom and dad's house. Long story short, first couple of days was glorious, and then my truck broke down. If you guys missed the posts on Twitter and Facebook, the rust from Ohio finally broke my gas tank strap, and the back of the tank was hanging on the ground. There's the man right there. Yeah, he's here. Yeah,
the magic of TV.
Hey, right. Let me. The Mohawk is stunning. The camera does not do it justice. I'm telling you. So anyhow. Had a little incident. The gas tank or the fuel tank dropped. We just got fuel. We dumped 30 gallons of diesel all over the road. The hazmat team, everybody come up, took it to a dealership, got a rental car, and then we went to up to Safety Harbor Firearms, took a little tour of Walter's shop, talked to him, met some of his employees, got some good pictures and stuff. And today we came in and got our CCWs with Patrick. So if you're in the Gainesville area or surrounding and you want to get your CCWs, call Big Daddy Guns, get a hold of Patrick. I think he usually does classes on Wednesdays.
Yeah, you have to ask for specifically baby-face P.
Yes. Great professor. He's got a big screen right there. He's got it all right there. You can read it. So we, me and the wife, got certified for that today, and then we snuck out and pushed the billy goats off the way, and Walter showed up with some fun toys. Well, I shouldn't say toys. But anyhow, it was a glorious day today, man. We got to fling some lead.
Awesome. Thank you. And then TIVAN also brought in some swag. We got some TIVANShow swag in here, some cups.
Look at that.
Cool. Very cool.
So everybody comes into Big Daddy, you can get yourself a cup, and I brought some pins and stuff.
Hey, TIVAN, can I get one?
Yeah.
How's TIVAN's cooking, Rod?
Yeah.
TIVAN's cooking is very good. It's stupendous.
Oh my gosh.
Rod, you're a garden tool. I just want to point that out.
hey, Kevin, we do the same thing to women all the time, don't we?
I'm not, brother.
Hey.
Look, I ain't got nothing to do.
Hey, man, I can cook a mean hot dog on the grill, dude. You want it like slightly brown or do you want it black? I'll burn it. It don't matter. I'll throw it on a bun, throw some ketchup, mustard on there. You'll never know the difference.
You need some crisp on your hot dog, man. You need that. You need that char.
I like
my
hot dog Chicago style though.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, now since you said that, what is better in Chicago, pizza or dogs?
Hot dogs. I hate deep dish.
Nothing is better in Chicago. Nothing.
Now, I love New York pizza. I love New York pizza though.
There's not a single thing that's better in Chicago. Now, KD, someone wanted me to show you this. This is from Chris. He just wanted to show you that.
That's what's up, man.
That picture right now. There you go.
Yeah, KD. Rumor has it you went all the way out there to the NRA show and had a backpack full of hats, and was just passing them out. And Hey, I need some brotherly love.
I ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, I didn't get a hat either.
You get a hat either?
Hey, you know what the crazy part is? You remember when
Kevin
I had
he didn't even let me look at a hat.
The crazy part is, I'm sitting there and I'm staring at you like, does he actually wear hats? Because I've only seen you with one on like 3 times. Like, does he even wear them? Because you know you got your mohawk going.
Right,
right. Does he actually? I was really curious about that. But we're gonna have to get you a gray one. I think the gray fits your persona a little bit.
Okay.
Red might be a little bit too loud. The pink one I think will go with your skin tone, but you know I'm gonna.
Oh boy!
I think we'll get you
thumbs
the
up, double thumbs up. Everybody put in the comments 2 thumbs up for the pink hat for Hank.
But Hank was nice enough to participate in a little nice giveaway we're gonna have or raffle. I haven't made up my mind yet, but Hank was nice enough to jump in on some special we're gonna be doing for Aiming for the Truth when it comes to those hats. So Hank, I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Gonna be nice. Gonna be nice. No, Hank, we're gonna get you a hat. What color you want? You want a gray one or you want a black and white one?
I like gray. I think that's cool.
All right, man. We'll shoot you one.
I rock the gray. So there you go. Let me see. I'm trying to see what else we're getting into here. So how was the show for you, man? Rod? Rod wants to say something.
I mean, damn. I mean.
Oh, you still want a hat?
Hell yeah, I want a hat.
Rod, let me ask you this question, Rod. How's KD's cooking?
Yeah.
Man, you know what? Me and KD shared a special moment at the.
Oh Lord! Oh
wait! They macaroni cheese together or what?
We don't want to know about that. We don't want to know about your special moment.
Before you start getting your minds in the gutter, you know, man. Me and KD, remember when we ate barbecue Friday afternoon?
Right. Okay.
And what kind of barbecue? Chicken, ribs? What'd you get?
Man, we had some of everything. KD, what did you have?
Man, I had the
brisket.
The brisket.
Yeah.
And,
I had the brisket too.
Yeah.
And you had that bread pudding too, didn't you?
Yeah, that I tried. I gave away to somebody. I ate some of it, but it was just too much food.
No, you gave that to Lola.
No, Lola didn't take it. She refused to take it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had the brisket. The brisket was good.
Don't try to deflect from the special moment.
Okay, but anyway, Kevin and I, we sat there, we were eating dinner together, and you know, we were just
like a nice candlelight dinner. Or
let's get to the point where we can stop the rumors, because I feel this is going to be its own segment. So let's speed this up.
Hank, you were right there with us, so if we were candlelight,
hey, you're making it worse, bro. You're making it worse.
but Kevin, we sat there, man. We talked about St. Louis and all that kind of thing, and. I felt a bond, a connection with my brother, and I don't even get a hat. I like that hat he got on his head. I love that.
This dude just sat here and tried to serenade me a whole story. Right? I mean, man.
Can I get a hat?
That's a cold game. All you've been asking for is free stuff since you've been on here. I tell you what. This is how I hit Rod back. Hey, Rod, which hat post have you reshared and encouraged people to go buy?
Ooh, that's call out right there.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
You might get on that phone right now.
Yeah.
Kevin, when you come down here and go to the Jaguar game, who got your ticket?
No. But see, that's the difference. That's difference.
How's that different?
No. Yes, it is. Let me tell you how. Now I ain't gonna try to get too deep, because Jaguar game is great. Football, great brotherhood, sharing, drinking, laughing, joking. You going to the extra mile to do it. Hey, kudos on all that. Now, when you get to no other choice in what we stand for, we're trying to change lives. We're trying to make sure kids can live to get to the football game. So when I'm asking you to do something like just share a post, that way we can get people funneling in, for we can get the cash flow to get the event, to save the lives, so they can become football players, that's a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and start sharing them posts. And then when I come down there, you would be remiss to think that I'm gonna show up somewhere empty-handed without a gift for a man that's doing work. That just goes without saying. And the only reason select people honestly this weekend didn't get it is because, Brian, here's your problem. Now Hank understand this. So he understands. I'm gonna tell you. See, what had happened is when you start hanging out with certain people, you start getting excluded from certain things. Oh, it's just like you know how you can't get in certain giveaways anymore?
Right.
Just kind of the nature of the beats. So when I'm limited to what I have, it's like I got to give it to the person that's like,
he's got priority.
You know what I mean? Like, so the honest thing is, I ran out. So yeah.
Hey, I heard of
I mean, that was a long way around the block, up the road.
I'm like, damn, we finally got there.
No, as long as y'all took y'all to get over a romantic dinner, hey,
trying to hypnotize people.
Hey, taking a romantic dinner, man. Take him down to Taco Bell, hit that dollar menu or something, man. Get you a large Coke. I mean, at least make him feel good.
I'd rather not take him anywhere. I mean,
so check it out. So American Gun Chick is in the chat, and she says she didn't get her hat either.
Yeah, now she was supposed to get a pink one inside, but here's the problem with American Gun Chick. After the first night, every time you saw her, she was barely walking. Like she was just drained,
enjoying the Texas weather.
Yeah, she was just drained. And when we finally did see each other, I think that was late Saturday night. Like, man, it was. We had to argue. Hank, you went around. We had to catch this real slick reporter, and he kind of threw things off too. He tried to get people drunk to get them to start saying anti-gun things. And he stalked us for like 7 hours, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think I heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's what I forgot. So yeah, I do have hats to issue, but that's why I came back with pink ones.
There you go.
What you trying to do? Show off with a picture of it? You don't want me to show pictures, bro. You don't want me to show them.
Yeah, no, I didn't, Richard Hughes. Hank, we forgot to go through drive-through in your new car, man, and ask for McGangbang.
McGangbang. Okay, we'll have to do that next time.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you a McGangbang in Gainesville anyway. We have to go somewhere else.
That's all good.
Yeah. So American Gun Chick says what's up to everyone. There you go.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. So TheTIvanShow, you didn't show up at the NRA thing. What did you see something out there you were interested in? You saw some coverage?
I seen a bunch of stuff. I only saw one guy make one video of how bad it was, and all of the protesters. There was like one group with 10 people in a corner, like 3 blocks down. Other than that, I watched a lot of videos on the NRA meeting. Looked like everybody had a good time. I wish I could have went, but I had to work. But we got down here this week. But I'm waiting to see what else everybody else posts. I'm waiting to get the piece from Walther with the butt stock. I think I'm gonna get one of those and upgrade my AR.
Okay, so let's start there, Kevin. You probably need to hit this with the protester thing. So, you know,
I walked by the first day. So that was what, Friday, the first official day. When I walked by to go in, the protesters there were, if I'm being nice, man, and I might be wrong, I would say 12. We're standing like right in front of the convention doors, and I purposely on accident stumbled and walked right in front of them instead of in the other open area to go into the doors immediately, and just walked by and got real close. Within, you can smell your cologne close, and they
they violated your bubble.
No, they didn't violate my bubble. I don't look for conflict. I was looking for conversation, but they spoke. Like, good morning, hello, like not sarcastic or anything, real polite. Spoke and went back to holding their signs. They weren't yelling, they weren't chanting. They were holding a band AR-15.
So they actually had polite protesters. It was just a group of 12.
It is when you don't have police and barricades standing in front of you.
They don't get very loud, do they?
Conversations are a little bit different, man. They aren't so hostile. When people, it's like that. It's like when you're about to fight in grade school, and when somebody steps in the middle, all of a sudden you get tougher. You know what I mean? Like,
hold me back. Yeah,
it's the same kind of thing. So I wasn't looking for conflict. I wasn't looking for anybody to prove they were tough. I was looking to engage in constructive conversation, but they didn't, man. They said hello. They weren't rude. They weren't mean, and that was it. Like, I walked by all of them, and nobody was doing
anything. They just stood there and made their point. But you always seem to be the type of guy that likes to get involved and share knowledge, share the meaning of it, and maybe change somebody's perspective from a different point of view, because there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand the rights that they have and to be able to exercise those rights.
I was more than willing to do that. And that's, you're right. I mean, and thank you for noticing it. Just at the time, they weren't confrontational. They were just like, hey man, their whole aura was, we don't want any problems. We just want to stand here and hold our signs. You know what I mean? Kind of like, hey man, just let us at peace, and we're going to let you guys at peace. And then
not heard.
Yeah. And then a little while later, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day or whatever, they designated a spot for them and they moved them away from the convention. And I heard it never even got bigger than that. Now, when Alyssa Milano, I guess, got down there, I'm thinking she got between 300 and 400 people somewhere else, but it wasn't at the convention center. That came out to see her, but we never had any kind of conflicts with them.
Actually, they were about a block away. I actually saw them, but it wasn't that many people. I mean, matter of fact, remember when those bulls, the statues of the bulls were outside?
No, I don't remember anything from the weekend.
Okay. It's like
I heard you drove around in a Camaro all week, and MT was talking about how his hips hurt because he was uncomfortable riding all the way up on the dashboard.
Well, yeah, it's what happens when you get in a Camaro. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, driver's always comfortable.
Yeah. What were you saying, Rod?
No. As I parked about maybe 2 or 3 blocks away from the convention center, and I saw those protesters that KD was talking about, and they were like, the most polite and silent protesters I've ever seen. I'm coming there thinking that, okay, I may have to fight my way to get in here, but they were like, hi, I saw one weirdo. I mean, he had looked like he had some diapers on in the parking lot, and he had a sign, and he was walking away from me, so I really couldn't hear what he was saying. But I mean, I saw more protesters maybe in Atlanta than I did in Dallas.
Yeah, I saw 0 protesters. I didn't see any. I did see someone paid one of those billboard trucks to drive around.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah,
but that's about all that I saw. I didn't really see anyone protesting.
One of their signs said something along the lines of cops use their rights to take the rights of blacks or something like that. I guess they were trying to open up a dialogue for a conversation with that sign. Once again, still they didn't do much talking. So when I decided to have a rebuttal to that, and I'm trying to find the rebuttal. There it is. Okay, so the rebuttal was this, and kind of within view of them. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry.
Yeah, back it off just a little bit. There you go. There you go. So it looks like you with about, I don't know, 7 or 8 police officers.
Yep. And I was armed. So not saying that things don't happen, don't get me wrong, but that was just to prove to them, like, nobody's going to walk around here scared of them or you.
Yeah.
So, but
police officers were, I didn't, there was no kind of issues or anything like that.
No, man, they were really polite. I mean, I spent probably, probably 10 minutes every day harassing the female cops that were walking around. They got a lot of lady cops down there.
They do.
In Dallas,
harassed the heck out of them the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, let me take this moment just to remind everyone to click the thumbs ups. Okay, we need those thumbs ups. If you haven't hit them already, please do. We need that. We need that helps us get the word out that we're doing this. So please smash those thumbs ups out there. And let's see. You know what? Things I didn't like about Dallas, which the only thing I didn't like about Dallas is not the traffic. There wasn't like heavy traffic. I did not like the roads and driving around in Dallas.
Bad. Downtown, they're bad.
Yeah. Navigations don't work. The roads are all broken up. Half of them are closed. You got to drive around and around in circles just to get to a specific place. The people who live there don't know how to do it. Yeah. So that I thought was interesting. But other than that, Dallas, I think, was really nice.
I forgot to tell you, right there north up there, there's a place called Medieval Times. It's a big restaurant right off of 75 that goes up through there. They ride around on horses, and they do the
they had that in Orlando.
Yeah, they do the big sticks, the jousting.
Yeah,
and they sell these great big
steaks.
Turkey drumsticks, man. They're huge. It's called Medieval Times.
And they don't give you
there about 10 years ago. It was awesome. I'm sorry, Rock, go ahead.
They don't give you any type of utensils. You have to eat with your hands too, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They had that in Orlando. They went out of business though.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't been downtown in probably 10 years in Dallas.
Dallas itself was cool. I like Dallas itself. The city is just insane.
It's progressive.
It's big.
Well, it's not like an Atlanta or a Houston. It would be more so like a Charlotte.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did like was that they are very progressive, more so than where I'm from. Whereas I noticed, when I first came in, I started seeing all these bicycles, like they were either yellow or orange. I mean, yellow or like a lime green. And I'm like, why the hell are these bicycles just laying around? Well, what they do is if you want to get from one place to another, you can use an app. It will unlock the lock on the bicycle. You can use that bicycle for an hour, $1 an hour. And you can go ahead and whenever your time is up or when you're done, you can just park the bike on the sidewalk and leave it for the next person.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I had one quick question. You guys was talking about the protesters earlier. You guys are pretty big names in the YouTube social media networks and everything. What do you think, or did you see any dispute between people that were upset with the NRA and what they're doing? I know Mac said he was going to wear his NRA not real activist, but did you see anybody talking or doing anything and trying to fix anything down there?
Kevin?
Well, you saw the shirts. I'm not going to say I saw a ton of them, but you saw them.
I saw people walking around with them. I didn't see anyone get kicked out.
No, nobody. No, I didn't see anybody personally get harassed because they were wearing them. But you saw the no fudge shirts. You saw the other shirts, the NRA shirts. You saw those. I didn't personally see anybody having any banter about it. I didn't see anybody debating the shirts. I didn't hear anybody asking about the shirts. I didn't see the guys wearing the shirts, running up on people trying to, tell them how they feel. Like I personally didn't see that. I believe from what I saw people that were voicing their opinions by wearing the shirts, obviously, but I just saw people having a good time. I didn't see those debates going on. I just saw people interacting. I saw people that are very, very pro NRA. I mean, I had guys that were wearing the NRA shirts walking up to me talking. We had a good conversation. Like I didn't see a conflict at all.
Yeah. I know that Mac did do, I believe it was Saturday morning. He did something really early, which like I tried to make it, but my alarm just kept going off and I didn't make it out there.
Get the toes out from underneath the bed sheets. That's what it was.
And I believe that Mac broadcasted that live, but I didn't hear anything about it. You guys can let us know out there if there was any big problem. I think the NRA just eventually realized, let's let these guys do and say what they have to say and then let it go. So
yeah.
Did you guys go over to the Gun Collective for their thing, for their panel? Did you see any of that?
The Gun Collective this year is definitely more scale. I went last year for the first time, and it was more scale back this year because, Hank, you remember last year they were giving like gift bags when you first got in. It wasn't anything like that. Now, the only controversial thing that I saw at the Gun Collective was this one guy outside that was upset that the security guard was patting him down, and
but they weren't on the same property, so wherever they went, they should have been able to carry guns, right?
No, because the owner of the venue did not allow that.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I would have moved to another venue.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been with that. So they didn't. So you weren't allowed to carry them wherever they were at.
Say it again.
Unallowed to carry.
Nah, you couldn't carry going in. No,
I'm glad I didn't go.
The other thing is that I think last year the NRA got behind what they were doing. This year they did not get behind it. So
yeah,
that's one of the things that's going on there. But I think Rod Mills is probably the only one of us that took his butt down there. Obviously,
I mean,
looking for some free stuff.
And I didn't get shit free. I'm sorry, but I didn't get anything free.
I wish I could say I felt sorry for you, but I really don't.
I got and to be honest with you, I was there for about an hour. And keep in mind, Friday was a long day for me. Hell, I got up about 3 o'clock that morning to prepare to catch my flight out. And by the time the Gun Collective show started about 7:30, it's supposed to start at 7, started at 7:30. And man, I'm gonna tell you, about 8:30, 8:45, I was like, man, the hell with this. I'm going back to my hotel. And I went back to my hotel, and guess what I did? I Uber. No, I did a Walther. I
Uber Eats.
I went to Uber Eats and got some Hooters wings sent to me at my hotel room. And it wasn't Friday, it was Saturday actually. And man, I was like, man, I'm done. I'm and then I didn't even go to the convention on Sunday. I actually real quick though, I did go to I knocked something off my bucket list. I always wanted to go to the John F. K. assassination site.
Yes, you posted a video on that.
Yeah, I did. And by me being a gun guy, the first thing I'm looking all the time, I'm thinking about, okay, what did this guy really shoot him with a bolt action? Okay, I got a Mauser similar to what the shooter had, Lee Harvey Oswald had. And I find it almost impossible because they let you go to the sixth floor window. You're actually able to go there and you can look down, clear line of sight, even though the trees are a little higher now, but you can kind of estimate, you know, the car moving about maybe 8 to 10 miles an hour. And so him shooting, yeah, and we all know bolt action, you rack that round, you pull the bolt back, the empty case goes out, the round goes back in the chamber, load it again, and get back on target. And he had one of those really crude, it may have been, you know, the Trijicon for back in the 60s, but it was a really crude scope. And he hit a chest shot, well, no, a neck shot and a head shot. And, you know, and then I think he got all 3 other shots. And I'm like, no. And because I went down to the grassy knoll where they said that they believe somebody else shot. And I'm like, man, and I'm looking at it, that was a kill box there. Somebody, so I truly believe to my heart that somebody else did shoot him. You know,
there was more than 3 people, supposedly, conspiracy theory, whatever. But did they charge you to go up and look out the window?
No, I did that on my own.
Okay.
I did that. That is something that I wanted to do because I wanted to see for myself his line of sight and then kind of count, you know, because keep in mind with a bolt action, it's not like a semi-automatic. You got to do all of this, you know, and then get back on site. And, you know, I'm like, man, unless he was one of the best snipers ever, there had to be somebody else. And they claim he was just an ordinary guy like us.
No, he was military trained.
Well, I mean, well, he was a Marine, but I mean, I was in the Army. I mean, but you know, if you're just a regular grunt, I mean, you're not a sniper. I mean, you're a marksman, you know, or you know, a rifleman. But you know, I just didn't see it, and I took a video of it. If you guys go to my Facebook page at Rod Mills, there's a video on there that I took from the book repository all the way around everything, so you can see it for yourself. And in the street, they have an X that marks the spot where he got shot in the neck and the head.
Right in the middle of the street, too.
Right, there's an X, yeah.
Okay. This is completely off the subject, but Boss Hog says that when you said you didn't get shit free, that tickled his wife. that brought joy to her life. So there you go. Okay, that's very cool. Lots of people were checking that out. Now, Kevin Dixie, there was some news that went down, I think while we were out there. Who is it? Oliver North is now the president of the NRA, and you happen to have been speaking with Pete Brownell, and I think Lola wrote here Willis Lee, who I have no idea who the hell that is.
He's on the board. Yeah, he's on the board.
So you want to tell us a little bit about that? Can you give us some insights as to what you guys were talking about? Or
I found out when you guys found out. Like literally, I didn't know. Like when I found, like literally the same way everybody else found out was the same exact way I found out. So when I was hanging out with those guys, that was, when did they announce that? Monday?
I think so. I didn't see it until Monday.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was
Monday, like 3, 4.
It was Monday. So you know, I was having a dinner and hanging out with them Thursday. So no, I didn't, dude. I mean, we talked what we always normally talk about, just good friendly conversation about, you know, veteran and inclusion in the ranks of not the ranks, but the NRA. You know, the good stuff that we're trying to do to help people. But I didn't know. Like there was no hint. There was no, you know. I mean, but they're professionals, so I don't know if they even. I don't know if Willis even. I don't know. I just know I went, had dinner.
How much was his severance pay?
That it was gonna be. Man, dude, look.
Severance pay, really?
I don't know.
Hey, it's all in the contract.
All I know is from what I read is that Pete was he just didn't rerun. You know, he didn't sign back up for it. You know, so
I don't think that was worth the trouble. And I'm not privy to any information there. I just don't think it was worth the trouble for Pete, who is an incredibly cool dude.
Oh yeah, Pete's a great guy. I mean, I encourage anybody, if you ever get a chance to interact with, you want to talk about a humble, just good dude like Pete Brownell, and so is Willis. Since we're talking about him. But you know, I know more people know who Pete is. But Pete is a solid. He's just a good guy, man. Like he can be your neighbor and he'll sit out on the porch and just have a cup of lemonade with you. Like he's just a really good dude. So
yeah.
Sure
I'm sure, you know, I'm sure that there's things that go on over at Barnauls like goes on in any other business, but I think the people that I interact with at Barnauls, they have a good time, and a lot of times that's reflected from the top. You know, if the people at the top care about you, you could see it. If they really care about it, and this is something like I don't know how many generations of the Barnauls family are involved here. What have they been doing this for, like 80, 90 years or something like that? So you would expect a lot of times you see in situations like that, the children, grandchildren don't really care that much. They're not into guns and all that. I think that's not the case here. These guys are really into this stuff. So I think you can read into that if you want to, that they just didn't, you know, that he probably just didn't see the point in continuing the whole farce, you know, because I don't really think the president has that much power. We were talking about it yesterday of like, what can Oliver North do over there, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. I just don't really think there's that much that they could do, you know, and there's just not a terrible amount that we could do with the NRA. I think we should just really try to focus our energies on helping out the other organizations that are out there, like the GOA and other such organizations. And the NRA is a place that they have this big convention. You can go there and see like-minded people to some extent, but we're not all going to agree on stuff. And I don't know. I don't feel like it's even worth the fight with those guys when I could just take that same time and energy and support other people that are really fighting and trying to make a difference and undo a lot of the stuff that the NRA does quite often.
I'm looking at a picture of Ollie North. I just looked it up right here. He's looking old. It says, this is from ammoland.com. The NRA in a decision labeled by Lane LaPierre. Exciting news for our members since Charlton Heston became president to our association, has chosen Oliver North as the organization's new president. And it goes on. 1980s was decided became political aware. Anyhow, that just tells him a description of when he got into guns and stood up and said, yeah, everybody wants one, everybody needs them.
Yeah. I don't really see to me, a lot of what's going on at the NRA with the presidency and all that, when you're talking about LaPierre, I mean, LaPierre is a lot like Putin. You know, it's a lot like Russia. You can have whoever you want to think up there, but it really doesn't matter. You know? That's my personal opinion on it. I don't see them changing anything, and I think that there's also a ton of people that are in the NRA that don't see guns the way that we do, and that's probably the FUDs that lots of folks are talking about. They don't see it the way that we do. They don't really care about what happens to black rifles, AR-15s, and things like that. They're not concerned with it. It doesn't bother them. They've got some shotguns and lever actions and things like that, which are awesome. You know, I don't want to see anything happen to those things. I enjoy that. But I just don't really think that they see the world the way that we do. And it's a completely different audience a lot of times. And pretty much the only thing that's going to change that is time, when all those people just fade away, you know, into the past. Yep.
Well, we was out there to your hacienda. And, you know, I was in the military. I shot full auto with the fun switches and everything. But the wife hasn't. And Walter hooked her up. I think she shot the M16 and she shot the do you remember what the other one was?
There was it an Uzi? No.
Yeah, the Uzi.
Okay.
Well, she shot them, we recorded it all and everything, took pictures, and I said, so what do you think of full auto? Oh yeah. And she's like, why are these outlawed? You know, there's no need for it. There's no reason. Responsible people, regardless if you're shooting with the fun switcher or not, it still comes down to the individual of self-respect, honor, dignity, and abiding the law. But she loved it. And so thanks to Walter, big thank you, and to you, Hank, for letting us come out there to Hacienda. You know, she got to experience something today that she normally probably would have never gotten to do. And because of the laws, everybody should have the right to do and have and operate whatever they feel so choose to do.
Yeah. Vanessa Kitty says the bump stock and rate of fire trigger mods was passed. Excuse me. The trigger mods ban was passed by the legislator early this morning. I believe that Vanessa Kitty is in Connecticut. That's why a lot of that stuff is happening. Yeah. A lot of this stuff has been, you know, obviously there are incidents that happen, but a lot of the doors were open to these things. I think the ironic part of it is if you look at a lot of the shows that are on the NRA, like NRA TV, you're going to see shows where people are shooting full auto and all that. But then all these, the guys who are on top of the NRA say, yeah, they believe in the full auto ban, the machine gun ban. So I think that's interesting that you have to. I think it's just two completely different worlds that we're dealing with.
Right hand, left hand, and neither one knows what the other one are doing.
Yeah, well, it's fun. What you just said, it's a fun thing, and it's very seldom that we see anyone using those kinds of things to reap destruction on other people. And you know, these guys they just see it as, hey, that's a thing that we could sacrifice so that we could still keep our shotguns, or, you know, whatever it is that they think is more important than having an AR-15. I just don't agree with that. You know, so
yep.
and go ahead. I'm sorry, Kevin.
No, indeed. I mean, I don't think that it's okay for anybody to agree with any type of restrictions. Just period. I mean, that's across the board. The thing that, you know, that I find a little concerning in general is the overall attack and what we're going through. I mean, you look at, you know, this whole Dick's Sporting Good, and it's really dangerous when people start investing money. See, it's one thing to have an opinion. It's a whole other thing when you start putting money behind it. And you know, to start investing money to try to take our rights down. And
so explain what happened there, because I know that came up yesterday with High Point. You weren't here yesterday. I'm not sure if you know this, but High Point and what is it? What's the other company that goes along with High Point? Anyway, the other guys with High Point said that they refuse to sell anything to Dick's because of what you're saying. Not only did they say that they're not going to carry these things, but they're also giving money to go against the Second Amendment.
Yeah, so Dick's decided that, you know, they were gonna double down on what they did. So they were presented with a couple of things. Once they came out and said, hey, we're not going to sell AR-15s anymore. Well, first they tried to say they're not going to sell to anybody over 21, right? That was their first step. Then they just flat out said they're not going to sell them. And so they were hit with a suggestion. Fine, if you're not going to sell the AR-15s, why don't you guys donate them, and then we'll have trainers train local police departments for free. So police departments that can't afford, you know, the guns, small departments, give them to them. You know, whatever you got in your inventory, donate them. We'll get them trained up. So now you have law enforcement with the proper training, yada yada yada. Dick's ignored that, and now they decided to invest in a lobbyist group to go on Capitol Hill and fight for gun control. So they put their money into trying to fight gun rights. Now you got, and it's good to hear, I didn't know about High Point, but that's good to hear that High Point, in which is, I believe that the parent company is MKS, decided to pull their business. And let's not forget, I think it's called Field of Streams. That's another parent store of Dick's, right? So
sister company, or are they integrated, or one owns one the other?
It's the same money, so don't support either one of them. Okay. Then you have Mossberg today announced that they are no longer going to do any new business with them, and are going to look at their current contractual obligations, you know, to see if there's any room to get out even sooner. But they're not going to start any new business with Dick's. So I think that that's what the gun community should be doing. Like, hats off to Hornady, right? When they refuse to sell to New York law enforcement, since you're going to restrict the rights of people. So that's exactly what we should be doing. So kudos to them. It just sucks that the fight is so deep, man. And I don't know, I didn't look up the, you know, how much money Dick's is worth or anything like that, how much money they have between them and Field of Streams. But even if it's, I don't know, $100,000, that's $100,000 I wish they wouldn't be given to fight gun rights, you know, to fight against gun rights.
This is serious. And what I think people don't realize is that if you think that, hey, I don't give a crap about bump stocks, or I don't care about AR-15s, and you allow people to take that away, when that goes away, what makes you think they won't come after your lever action? It's a slow roll. And
that's why I disagree with that. When some guys were all like, oh, give them the bump stock, who cares about those stupid things? I'm like, what? It's not about whether you care about it or not. I don't care. There are a whole bunch of gimmicky things I would never buy, right? But I'm not going to sacrifice them either. Like, no, I'm not going to buy it, but you don't need to mess with it either. Like, let's not start there. People make gimmicks. Everybody's trying to be an entrepreneur. Cool. Guys are trying to do the honest thing and make an honest buck. But No, you don't get to say, and that's the mentality I don't like. Like, hey man, you know what? I don't like bump stocks, or I don't use Geisley triggers. So what do I care if it's considered a rate increasing device? The GI trigger that comes in a gun is just fine. Give it to them. You know, why fight about it? Okay, so they take those two away. Then they decide that, you know what, your GI trigger is too fast, so we need to put like a New York style trigger in it. You know, then when we do that, we decide that, hey, you know what, you guys have gotten too good with that trigger. Why don't you just give us the whole damn gun? That's exactly where they're going. So yeah, I don't like the whole, I don't own this, so I don't care about it and I won't protect it. I don't own every gun there is, but I fight for every single gun that exists.
Yeah, it's like saying you care about people, but I just don't care about the Indian ones.
Right, exactly.
I don't care what happens as long as it don't happen in my backyard. And now that all the big hubbub went up and it's coming down, and then now that the left people are trying to incorporate all these businesses and stuff like Citibank, well, if you own guns or you sell guns, we're not going to do business with you. I think it's getting down to the point now that people are going to start banding together, and just like Hornaday, you know what? We're not going to sell ammo in your state, even to your law enforcement. So you can't protect yourself. The law enforcement's not going to have any ammo to do it either. So live with it.
Yeah. So Jeff sent me this message. He says we may have already mentioned it, but Springfield Armory also dropped Dix.
Oh yeah, Springfield did too. You know, Springfield dropped out too. Yeah, and you know it's funny because you know when it's funny because if gun, you know, and I've been saying this for a long time, even before I started to get in front of cameras. Like, you know what will really help? There's a lot of money in the gun business. You know, like people sometimes I know are like, oh, companies are hurting. Look, dude, it's a lot of money in the gun business, and there's a lot of position and power if it's used correctly. Don't do business with those who don't do business with you. Yeah, period. Simple. So a Hornady, hats off. Springfield, hats off.
I salute
MKS and High Point, hats off. Mossberg, hats off. Like, who's next? You know?
Yeah, step the hell up.
yeah. Who's next? You know?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because us, me, you, Rod, TYVN, not going into Dix, it's not hurting their feelings, right? And I don't think that they made most of their money off of guns anyway, because, you know, I'm pretty sure like fishing poles and hunting equipment and stuff like that. But how many of those hunting companies are tied into gun owners? What if they pulled their stuff? You know?
Well, you think about the guy packs and holsters and stuff, and they're trying to be entrepreneurs and get that big contract with a big company so they can push more product. You know, it affects the little guys too.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: if you're going to put your stuff, if the other guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, depending on where you stand, if you're not a pro gun guy, or if you don't really, you know, look at gun rights as a focus of your existence, then yeah, I don't expect you to think about this, right? But if you are a guy that owns a small backpacking company and you call yourself a pro 2A guy, how dare you go do business with them, right? Because what you're going to do, because they're still going to make a profit off of. So you're a guy that says you care about 2A rights, right? You go sell your widget or your wadget to Dix. Dix might entertain you now because they're losing business elsewhere, so they need more product. Fine. They entertain you. They buy your product. They make a profit. Then they take that profit and fund taking your gun rights away, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So you shouldn't be
doing
business.
By the way, Dix's stock is up 0.66 today, 2.19%.
See how long it lasts. You know, I'm always going to be a fan of eventually it'll hurt. Now, I can't say, oh, man, screw them. I'll never. I know a lot of guys do that. Like, every time somebody makes them mad, they're like, oh, screw them. I'll never shop there again. Look, dude, never shop there in the first place. I don't think I've ever.
Well, when we were coming down, we were buying stuff, and I was like, you know, we could go to Dix or Field and Stream. We went and bought a little, I don't know, 18-inch grill for charcoal, because we were going to stop and have a little cookout or whatever on the way down here to Florida, and then cook out we're down there. I didn't give Dix my money. We went to Lowe's, I think it was. Where did we go to get the grill? Do you remember?
Academy.
Myers.
We went to Myers and we gave them our money.
Yeah, you always have choices. Another thing I thought was interesting, I didn't go into the what is it, like the presentations or the speeches or whatever that the president and the vice president did. I did watch it, and one of the things I noticed is that no one was booing. If I was in there, I'd be booing the shit out of the president. I'll just tell you that right now, because the president is doing a lot of anti-gun, making a lot of anti-gun moves, and he's doing it with the support of the NRA. And truly with the support of the NRA, because all of the people that paid and waited online to get in there, they were totally happy to see him but it comes back around to what we're saying. They don't think it's a big deal to go after these things. That if you really look at what they're doing, they think, oh, who cares about that bump stock they're taking away? And a year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, they're going to take more away and more away and more away. And those people cheered them on as they did it. And I think that's the thing that we have to remember here.
Hey, that's the difference between the dynamics at NRA. You got one half of us that was there to support the vendors and the retailers. You had the other half that was there for the political thing. Okay. I never go for the political thing. You know, I'm always there to support the retailers and the vendors and see what new and exciting new products they got coming out.
That's what makes America awesome when you go to things like that. It's new products, innovation. Oh, check this out. Or this makes you a better shooter.
You know what? You guys keep doing what you're doing. I got to fix something right quick, but go ahead. You guys keep talking. Hold on a second.
But the thing is that, you know, that's where the clear divide going down the line with NRA is and their supporters. I mean, Hank is right. There should have been people in there booing. Where were those people? How come? Well, I know what those people were. They were actually in the you know, the main hall to where we were actually looking at the guns and, you know, the exciting type of demo things. You know. Well,
you notice there was nobody booing the president. Nobody got kicked out. He didn't say, you know, get that protester out of here or whatever. And everybody was cheering him on loud and clear. I watched 3 or 4 of the videos on there. And I was like, you know what? You said you were going to bump ban stocks separately on a separate bill. You didn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
you didn't say anything about that, the NRA. You know, it says shall not be infringed. What part of that do people up there not understand? Not only do we want our gun rights back, we want all of our gun rights, just like today. Cherry went and shot some full auto stuff. There's absolutely no reason why that stuff should be banned in any way, shape, or form.
Now, didn't Trump, if I'm not mistaken, I remember him saying it, but didn't he pull back from that recently?
No. A little bit. He was in that meeting where he was sitting at his table with his arms crossed like this, and Nancy Pelosi was over here, and they was like, add this bill, add that bill. And he's like, no, I'm going to make bump stocks a separate bill. I'm just going to ban them there. I'll take the heat. And then he kind of like backed away from it there about a week and a half ago or so after his meeting with the NRA, Chris and Wayne. So, and I haven't heard anything else more about it.
The bills are still there's still legislation and stuff like that getting pushed through. The ATF is still going to do things. You know, we still have to like stand up and try to push back. And what I'm trying to say is that this is like a sweet and sour kind of thing. I think the NRA is great where people like us get together and we're able to talk to each other and support each other. Like Kevin said, you know, we get that energy to keep going because we know there's people out there. The flip side of it, it's not the solution to everything. You know, and the solution is not necessarily the get-togethers. It's the solution is us pushing back in our states and on a national level and not allowing things to go this way and just going, hey, who cares about what they do to bump stocks and all that? Because you're going to see when that legislation actually gets out there, when those things become law, it's going to do a lot more than that. It's going to do a lot of damage. So
stand up, people. Vote. I mean, yeah, you can vote with your feet. You can vote with your vote. But this is something that's going to affect everybody in America. And, you know, just because it doesn't happen in your backyard, you still got to fight for your brothers. You know, everybody's equal. It's what makes America great is, you know, patriotism and standing up for the rule of law and the founders of the country of documents that we currently live by today. You know, you have to fight. I think the ATF is still taking comments or something about bump stocks. You can still post.
Yeah, but the thing is that it makes no difference if the ATF is doing it if the state level is banning them like they are in Florida.
So why, if they're out there trying to knock all these sanctuary cities like California, why don't Trump get Jeff Sessions to go out there and say all these states that's making all these illegal gun laws, look, you can't do that either. Jeff Sessions is supposed to be the top guy for law enforcement in the United States. Hey, if he can buck California for immigration, why can't he buck the states for making all these fake, unruly, unlawful laws towards guns?
It's called politics.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. The politics of a thing. Politics is a nasty, grimy arena, man. And
how much money you got?
Well, yeah, and I think at the same time, now I'm not saying we shouldn't be talking, we shouldn't be raising our voices, because we should, and we need to continue to do that. But I would also say is, as a wake up call to anybody that hasn't done it, man, talk, rally, speak. I mean, I'm going to speak at a couple of rallies this summer. I mean, you know, do your thing. And what I will say is this, and I literally canceled classes that were going to put money in my pocket to go do something for free, because it's that important. All right. But make sure that through all the energy we're given, I can't express this enough, man. Whatever you feel you need to do to preserve not only your Second Amendment, but the rest of your Constitution and your life and your way of living, box it out at the ballot box. Stop saying, oh, I'm not showing up because it's not going to do any good. You know, so we get all this energy, you know, we give all this energy up. And then when it gets to time to talk about it at the ballot box, you ain't there. Yeah, you know, we got to make sure. Yeah, I see that all the time on social media. Oh, I'm not going to go because my vote's not going to do anything anyway. Screw it. Oh, I'll just sit here. I'm not going to get up. You know, you got people just tossing away all the power, because we can do everything we want to do now. But what do politicians fear more than a ballot box besides loss of money and power? Right? Ballot box scares the crap out of them. That's why everybody's fighting for everybody's vote before you get there. Use your votes, man.
Yeah,
use them.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So listen, let's remind everyone to hit the thumbs ups. Okay. We've got almost 200 people watching. I think we've got about 100 thumbs ups. We could definitely get to 200.
119.
Yeah, 119.
If you guys see in this chat and you have not thumbed up, you are wrong.
And Big Daddy Guns. Right there's the sign. Hank hooked me up. Hey, Hank, I'm taking that home, by the way.
What sign?
That big sign you stuck right there. It says Big Daddy Guns.
That says Hank Strange.
Oh. Oh, it does. I thought it said Big Daddy Guns. It does say Hank Strange.
Yeah, you still can't take it home, though. You cannot take it home.
He said it says Big Daddy Guns.
No, that's
well, I'm looking on my phone and I can't see it through the phone, and I looked around.
You're talking about the sign right here next to me. That one says Big Daddy Guns. That's
that'll be gone too.
Absolutely. Don't touch that sign.
Hank, one other thing, man. We forgot the how much fun we had at it. Oh, Hank, are you going to tell everybody what happened at the ATI booth? The blackout?
The blackout?
Yeah.
Blackout.
Come on.
What are you talking about?
I'll let you guys tell that story. You
go ahead, Rod.
Kevin, you sure you don't want to tell it?
I mean, I could tell it, but I mean, all right, fine. So we were I was actually on my way to do a booth appearance, I think at Fiocchi, and on the way walking there, saw Hank. So we stopped, said what's up, you know, chopped it up, said hi. While doing that, you know, when you see a buddy and you're about to keep walking, but then another buddy shows up, so you stay for a minute, you know, while everybody talks. That went from I know people standing around like, damn, they're multiplying, because all of a sudden it just got dark at the ATI booth. So it was just Hank and Lola over there.
Who posted that? Did someone? Where is that posted?
Yeah, I didn't see the pictures.
I think it might. Did I post a picture up? I don't know. I know it was a bunch of pictures of it taken. I don't know if I had one. I'll look at my phone. I'll look at my phone in a second. But it was Hank and Lola over there, and I think Hank was doing his thing with ATI. He was taking some pictures, talking to the guys, you know, doing his thing. And so it was just 2, and then it was 3, and then there were 4, and then there were 12. And it was Prevectus Group, Ken Scott with Prevectus Group. It was Rod, myself. I don't want to forget anybody. We had
Argo J,
Mike there. Argo J was there. You had Ghetto Gunner there. You had Real Silverback Guns there, and a few other people showed up. And so I don't want to forget anybody, because I don't think Maj was there at that time. But it was just a complete like accidental thing. It just happened. And you can see the funniest thing was, so obviously we wanted to get an opportunity, got all these great guys together. Let's take this opportunity to take a photo, right? And so before everybody starts walking in separate ways, we, hey guys, gather up. Let's take this picture. Well, in the meantime, we had supporters coming up. They wanted to meet Hank. They wanted to meet, you know, various people in the group, myself, Argo. You know, they wanted to meet folks. And right before we got to start taking a picture, the funniest thing to me was the guys at ATI. That was hilarious.
They loved it,
man. When we started kind of getting together for the pic, because we had the real pretty lady come up, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I got to," because she was like, and the little black lady was like, "I've never seen this before," right?
Yeah.
She just came up like, I don't care if you say I can take the picture or not. Like, she's just taking the picture. And then the ATI guy is like hiding behind his end cap, and all you see is this with his phone. click. And then when he saw everybody taking pictures, he got bold enough just to come out in the open and start taking pictures. I was like, ATI got blacked out, and they are going to get hella pub off of this. Like, I wouldn't be mad at them if they did. But no, it was a good time, man. So we just did an accidental booth invasion, but it was good. It was fun, and I think that booth, actually, from the people that were walking around, I could see everybody starting to having these smaller conversations off to the side, and you could see that people were becoming more and more acquainted with seeing and appreciative of seeing the variation, right? So it was just funny how it all happened at the ATI booth. So big shout outs to ATI for letting us darken their booth up and have a good time. Man, it was fun.
Booth raid.
But you know, I want to also add to that, man. It shows to the progression that African American gunners have in the gun world, whereas in years ago it was an all white male industry, and now we have a lot more progression. We have all races now: Black, Hispanic, Asian, women, and the LBDG, what the TG, whatever. LGBT, yeah. So we had everybody there. But I want to say that I can guarantee you that's the first time at any NRA in history that something like that has happened.
Negative.
You don't think so?
No, I think it happens all the time.
Yeah,
really?
I think that is very reported because the Black community is actually pretty huge into the guns and cultures. Like what Kevin does, he's reaching in and he's trying to absorb and get the community together and stand up. I think it's a lot bigger than most people actually think, because if you're down in the Carolinas, I drive trucks, so I'm a little here and there everywhere. I see it. I see it in the communities. People are more religious, more honor, more respect, more dignity, and that family value. I think it's actually bigger than most people think.
It's never really been an issue of. Now there is obviously an issue, which is something we're working, chipping away from. But I think that the voice is what's been smaller than the actual numbers, right? So you go back several years. You look at guys like Noir, you look at guys like Hank, you look at guys like Arjo, and you go way back. You look at guys like Cam Blanchard, right? Like these guys have been hustling at it. I think Hank, you've been at what, about 6 years now?
5.
So Noir's been at 11. For his YouTube plus the NRA side of it. Cam Blanchard was doing this thing before we even had internet, man. We literally did not have internet.
They made movies about him. You're talking about a guy that was in the Marines, CIA, Secret Service.
And so I think now what you're starting to see, and then even Argo's been at it for a while. I think now what you're starting to see is that you're starting to get more public representation. So you're starting to see more guys that are like, social media is allowing us to communicate. It's allowing us to talk. When you had guys come in and bust down the door, kind of learn from you, what platforms to get on. And then now you're starting to get different aspects of it. So you're not just seeing like everybody's not a Hank, everybody's not a New War, everybody's not a KD, everybody's not a Rod, everybody's not an Argo. Everybody's
we're getting lots of women in there.
Women are coming in.
From all different flavors.
Yeah. So I think that the market is starting to it's starting to grow, but I don't think the numbers are as low as some people would like to believe. I think that people now are embracing the different voices and faces that are actually public, So I think you're starting to see more of that, which thus gives people more courage to come get involved. Because, man, it was a lot of, I saw a lot of openly gay people at the show this year.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of
Dallas is a very diverse city, right? I mean, you've got a big LGBT population there in Dallas, which is great, and then you've got lots of people of color in Dallas as well.
Yeah,
and so you've got all that good stuff there.
It was a lot of Asians there. A lot of Asians, and people. And people got
diverse than the actual Dallas.
People got real comfortable in that. I think one of the more interesting things, and bless you, I think one of the most interesting things that happened to me, we were over there at Maj's booth, and a woman walked up to me. I was talking to two guys, and she walked up to me just for optics. She was a white woman, and she walked up to me and she started asking, just general questions, and then she broke out and ultimately was trying to convince me of how her dad's dad was the nice slave owner. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be an interesting conversation. Like, that's what she said. But she, in her own right, she was trying to basically say what she was ultimately trying to say was her family made money off of the Institute of Slavery, but they didn't treat people like slaves, I think is what she was trying to say. And they were in support of doing the abolition of slavery. Like, they actually supported it, and they armed. As the men became free, they armed them. Like, they bought them guns and said, hey, you're going to need these as you go out into the world. So they bought them guns. And so as the slave became free men, her family actually armed them so they can go ahead and protect themselves out in the world. And then, you know, she said and her story was, it's happy to see the progression of that, knowing that my family was involved in something like that, but we did arm. And now that you guys are standing here actually protecting those rights that I know my dad's dad or whomever, you know, actually said that you need this to survive. But the biggest thing from that is that she was in a space, she felt comfortable enough to share that story, you know? So, and it was a good story if you really listen to it. I mean, it's bad because slavery's involved, but it's good to know that as people were being set free, there was a family like, nope, we're going to buy these guns, and every man that leaves, here's a gun.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we have to be careful when we look at things from the like black and white points of view, you know, thinking that every case is open and shut and cookie cutter. A lot of this it's really complicated. If you think about it, you know, you're talking about profiting from slavery. You know, there's lots of Africans that profited from slavery because they sold their own people into slavery. So
that's true. Yeah,
you know, it's a very complicated thing that we're looking at. I'm not trying to excuse any part of it. I think one of the worst things that we have as human beings is this whole idea of slavery. And even today, there are people that are doing that. You know, we hear about these stories all the time. We know even the old school definition of slavery exists, and there's a whole bunch of other forms of slavery as well. But none of this is clear cut.
Yeah, like you look at Libya. But you know, to me, it's one of those things to where if you. I like for people to be able to talk to me, right? Be prepared if you say something foolish, but ultimately I like for people to feel, because how do you learn others' perspectives if you don't let them feel comfortable enough to actually talk to you, right? So I know that I can be, to some people, you know, I can be a little bit imposing. You know, I'm not a small dude. I'm not necessarily real short. And this lady was every bit of 5'4", 120 pounds, right? So I have to make sure that I'm letting people be comfortable, because it's the only way you're going to learn. And when she got to sharing her story, that's something I never knew before. I never knew that there was a family that did that in Dallas, Texas. Like, now I have a piece of history I didn't know about. But you can't shut people down and tell them, you know, no, everything you're about to say sucks, because that's how you start the conversation. Look, dude, I was able to learn something. I'm glad that it happened. And then there are still, to this day, we have a right, and we should be understanding what our history is. But even to this day, in the motherland, there are still people being sold as slaves, like legitimately, right? So it's a nasty, ugly thing to happen. But when you get a chance to learn and hear others' perspectives, it kind of shapes the argument. It kind of shapes, hey, really truly know your history. And for me, it was a huge deal to have somebody standing there that told me, yeah, we sucked for being involved in it. You know, shame on us. However, when those men were leaving, and when they said they wanted to leave and be free, we armed them on the way out. I mean, that's kind of a bittersweet thing to know, right? Mm-hmm. So I would encourage everybody, man, just long story short, be comfortable and be open enough to allow people to come up to you and share their perspective. Because the more we're doing that, and the more we're allowing people to open up and share, the more we're learning, right? You can probably pull some good things out of people, and then you can have more of a solid ground to work off of. And I think that's what the biggest thing is. People in this country nowadays don't like to talk. Are you with me or against me? There is no, you see both sides of the spectrum, right? Yeah. So either you're with me or against me. There is no dialogue. There is no conversation. And people wonder why every 6 months we're back into another big argument again. Sucks.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I think that the only way to deprogram all these things that we've created is to have those conversations. And I'm not trying to defend anyone. If you go back to those times, you'll find that there are an incredible, just like how there's people who could come up. There's a few people that could come up and say to you, hey, you know, my family, like a white family, they own slaves. Do you know how many white families out there were just like in just as horrible positions as slaves? The only thing that separated them was the color of their skin, but they were just as poor. And those slaves, those same slave owners or those wealthy people did lots of shit to them too. You know, they didn't have the benefit of the law to protect them from stuff, and they got raped and all that kind of stuff as well. I'm not excusing a damn thing. I think that this is what we do to each other as human beings, and we have to face it and deal with it if we ever expect to move on from that. And when you look around the world, if you've been anywhere in the world, you'll come to realize that America is not perfect, but it hasn't been done better anywhere. It hasn't been done better than it has been here in America, even with all those imperfections. There's lots of places out there that are worse. If you, I'm blanking on the name of it now, but if you look up in the news right now in England, there's stories about the people from the Caribbean that went to England, which I've told you guys. This is, what was it called? Like the wind. I think it was the something with the wind is what they call this generation. Someone has to look it up and tell me. I can't remember exactly right now, but there's basically a lot of Caribbeans after World War II, England, parts of Europe, they wanted these people from the Caribbean to come over there and help them rebuild England, right? My parents were born British citizens. And lots of people from Jamaica and Guyana and Trinidad and all parts of the Caribbean went to England, helped them rebuild. And then by the time you rolled around to the late 70s, early 80s, they didn't want anything to do with these people anymore.
You built my house. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, get the hell out. My parents were born British citizens. By the time I was born, the Guyana was convinced to claim its sovereignty. My dad went to England, got a master's degree in engineering from Brunel. If you look it up, it's one of the best engineering schools, if not the best on the planet. And then they told him, you got to get the hell out of the country, man. And my sister was born there, and they told them, look, if you can leave her, we'll just put her in an orphanage. And today, that's news in England because they are trying to deport those people. The people who went over there and stayed there, they're treating them, and they've been there for anywhere from hundreds of years to, tens of years and all that kind of stuff. They're deporting people when they're claiming their benefits after having worked all this time. They're like, yeah, you don't deserve any benefits, and they're trying to kick them out. And then these are places that try to tell America, you're doing a terrible job.
Yeah, no, man, that sucks. Real quick, big shout out to Sean. He's in the chat. He was actually standing right there doing that conversation. So he was one of the guys that I was standing there talking to. So big shout out to Sean. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Hank, Sean is the guy that you talked to when we're at the ATI booth, the guy from New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
So
shout out to Sean.
We have to we have to do better at understanding world history and how we fight for it. And you know what? Look, I'll tell you one thing though. I'm a big fan of understanding that I'm not going to repeat my history either. That ain't gonna happen. Which is what amazes me when people start talking about, oh, it's okay, let's just give up guns. No, not doing it, dude. Like, no, you don't do that because, and to me, like I always say, understand things in their complexity, but be able to execute and explain them with simplicity. That being said, from the Great American Wars, the fight to free slaves, the wars all around this world, weapons were used. The people that didn't have weapons lost.
Big time.
You don't have to get more complex than that.
History.
So that being said, and then when you look at people fighting for rights in this country, America fought from their freedom from the British with what? Right?
Guns.
We used guns, and then they made the biggest cup of tea ever known to man. Right? So you use guns for that, though. Now, when you fast forward, guns were used when Harriet Tubman, Moses Dixon, when they started operating and fighting for freedom from slavery, guns were used. When you fast forward in time, all right, you start looking at all the things that happened in Tulsa and Rosewood and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Guns were used. And when you look at throughout the course of history, every time people were disarmed, something bad happened to them. When people are armed, you normally hear about a badass fight, and whoever wins, wins. And there is a difference. So no, not giving you my guns. And Americans kill me with their cockiness, man. Like, oh, it's America. It's modern times. We're not going to do that again. Nothing bad is going to happen.
Yeah, why do you believe that? I mean, this is where I agree with not Coleon Noir, because he's Kanye West. This is where I agree with Kanye West. I think at this point, slavery is a choice if we decide to give up guns, thinking that magically someone's going to keep us free. We are the people who keep us free.
Correct.
Exactly. And that's a big thing that a lot of people have a hard time understanding. It's we the people who are free.
Yeah.
And keep
slavery,
it free.
Slavery, you know, all those years ago, I get what Kanye was trying to go. I don't think it was much of a choice at that time at all. However, when you look to now, if you decide, because back then that was imprisonment. That wasn't, I don't think that wasn't a choice. But if you look to now, learning what you've learned, and you don't have to be a minority to learn from slavery. You also don't even have to be of any minority, period, to be like, I understand why guns are important, because imagine if the British showed up and the Indians had M16s. Yeah. Shit might look a little bit different around here, right?
But it's right. But look, it's never a choice if there are laws. If you cannot physically defend yourself and free yourself, of course it's not a choice.
Right.
But who chooses to be a slave? Who chooses to watch themselves and their family and their friends go through what happened in slavery, or what happened in the Holocaust, or what happened in any situation like that in the world in the past? That's happening now, that's going to happen in the future. No one chooses that. Someone imposes on you that you do not have the ability to fight back, and therefore say, no way in hell you're going to treat me like this. You're going to be able to do this to me.
And what do they always start with, Hank? What's the first thing they take from you?
Your right to defend yourself, to arm yourself, to fight back.
Yep.
And that's the thing. If you have that, then it's a choice. And if you have that, like you've had in America since the beginning, and then you choose, you say, you know, the media gets behind it, and Hollywood and everyone gets behind it, says, oh, we should all give up guns. Then you are choosing to give up guns, thinking that maybe somewhere in the future, you know, like it'll never happen. You'll think it'll never happen that someone will go, listen, there's no guns except the ones the government has. We run the government, and now you have no choice but to do this, and that.
That's right. And nobody should be trying to put themselves in a position where that's okay. And people killed me when I was like, oh, you guys care about your gun so much. And I'm looking at them, I let them go through their little rants, and I'm like, hey, you want to know why guns are so polarizing? Because anywhere else you look in the Constitution, there is nowhere else that there is an object that represents the writings so clearly, right? A physical, tangible object that represents daily one of those amendments. So when I'm not fighting for per se the object, I'm fighting for the right that it stands for. And how can you yell at somebody for trying to stand up for the Constitution that even governs your butt? And when I'm yelling that I need to be free, dummy, I'm yelling that you need to remain free. You are volunteering to give up your freedom, because once they take your firearms and they can start playing around with the Second Amendment and say, okay, we're going to just get rid of this thing. You want to be like UK, right? So you want to get rid of guns, then try to ban knives, and now you can't speak because they're locking people up for tweets over there, right? So you put out a tweet they don't like. Canada's doing the same thing. So all of a sudden, now you're not imposed. You're not free to speak. I swear to you, this is what I think happened. All right, this is what I think happened. I think everybody that wants to give up their gun rights have been watching too many of those movies. You know, like you know, the movies where there's like direct rich people and poor people. Like, what was that movie Matt Damon was in, where like all the rich people lived on like a planet and all the poor people Elysium or some stuff? Like, I think they want that type of reality. Like, oh yeah, we're going to just place everybody over here and things will be okay and you'll make it because they'll provide for you, while the powers to be are still sitting over here regardless. Look at Alyssa Milano, whatever her name is. When she showed up, she had 3 or 4 armed guards around her. The NRA TV got a close-up of their guns. Right? Mm-hmm. But you're there talking about taking guns from people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, how come you didn't show up with a guard? You can have bodyguards. Why did they have to have guns?
Anyone wants to do that. Anyone that wants to do that, I'm just telling you, this is no bullshit. Anyone that wants to do that wants to enslave you. Just think about it. Okay? This is the thing that I thought Big Mike was right about, and then he turned everything around, the rapper Big Mike, that he said, why is it that people want to support taking guns and making guns illegal when it's going to put people like us in jail? Why do you want to support it? Why do you want to support putting yourself in prison? When you see Alyssa Milano doing that, she wants to put people who look like us in jail. Mm-hmm. Not her. She doesn't think that's ever gonna affect her. Maybe because she's like, well, I'm wealthy and I'm famous, so I'll always have someone around me to protect me. But the other people who don't have that, okay, those are the ones who are going to wind up in jail, if not worse than that. You need to have something. You already have the right to be armed and defend yourself just from birth, but you need something that guarantees that in the law. So when you show up there and they try to go, listen, you shouldn't have had that gun, You go, no, that's bullshit. The law allows me to have it. I know that. That's what happened when I got pulled over, right? When I got pulled over and this guy felt uncomfortable with me having a gun, if we lived in a world where everyone was like that guy, how would the world be?
Be very, very bad. And you know what the craziest thing is? After just to bring back into this Kanye stuff, you remember? Did you see it when he was at TMZ?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember the guy that spoke out against him?
Right.
This is the crazy thing to me. He said something. I know he was giving his opinion back to Kanye about Kanye's viewpoints, but he said something that I'm like, why is it that people don't hear what he's saying in a different context? He said, Kanye, that's great for you, the musical genius you are. You've afforded you a life, but what you're not doing is viewing how it works for us to have to live this every day with threats to our lives. I'm like, gee, that is the greatest argument for gun control, and you didn't even know that you were against gun control. You didn't even know that you were doing it. Everybody was high-fiving this guy for speaking back, and I'm not getting into the points of our debate. What I'm saying is he said something so profound, but yet everybody took that as a way to still try to say, oh, he was just speaking out against Kanye. No, listen to his words. He was talking to a very wealthy man, okay, that does live a different type of lifestyle. And he said to him, you are not understanding the threat to our lives as everyday, hardworking people. Well, damn.
Yeah.
What we're trying to say.
The thing that I thought about that and a lot of things that he was saying is that, you know, there are people every day who are fighting for people like him, but those people are fighting for those people to be armed, not disarmed. But people like that guy that was talking out against that, come down on those people. Those people look like me and you.
And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't and I'm going to look it up. I don't know his stance on actual guns. I don't know, but I want to look it up because I'm curious. And if he comes out to be anti-gun, that's going to be a real interesting playback for him. Right? Like
a lot of these guys are, man. A lot of these guys are anti-gun at the same time that they're saying the government is doing. That guy was saying how Trump is trying to do all these terrible things to him. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Even though I'm not happy with what makes me unhappy with Trump is what he does that's against the Second Amendment. I haven't seen anything where he said, okay, all you guys get together and go after those black people, kick their asses. He never said it. You know, it doesn't exist out there. But this guy feels like Trump is in the government, right? And he's there to do something bad to him. If you feel that way, why do you want to be disarmed? Why do you want to be defanged, declawed?
That's all I'm saying. That's why I don't argue people's viewpoints, because no matter what their viewpoint is, when they talk about being, you know, suppressed or being oppressed or whatever, well, it always goes back to, why would you want to be disarmed? Why would you want that to be your reality? So I can see your reality. I don't have to agree with your reality, or I can totally agree with your reality. At the end of the day, if you hate Trump so bad, that's fine if you do. I don't mean whatever. If you do, cool. That's hey, do your thing, man. Whoever you are. I stay away from politics because I don't like it. But if you believe that they are going to take you out, he's going to suppress you, there's the government is going to start coming down, the cops are going to go rogue, everything's going to go crazy. Why are you giving the same police your guns? I'm just saying.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I feels like Lola is going to come tell me in a second here that you and I dominated in the conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, she's over there. I'm watching her.
Yeah, she's going to come smack me in the back of the head. So let's see. What other stuff is going on here? You guys want to hit some news? I know everyone's supposed to get news, so let's see. Tyvin, did you come up with some news?
Make me last. I had two of them, but we already talked about them, so I got to regroup.
Okay. Let's remind everyone here to hit those thumbs ups. Okay, guys, you got to hit the thumbs ups. Rod, do you have some news, sir?
I don't know how big a news it is. Actually, it was news to me. But remember maybe about a month and a half ago, the owner of Daniel Defense came out and he said some inflammatory things against the 2A community. Now, I'm gonna tell you a story about NRA this year, and this is probably one of the more unique stories. This is the business card.
Don't show the guy's info.
Oh well, yeah. Marty Daniel. Okay,
right.
I didn't know who Marty Daniel was. Okay. So every year, what I like to do is I actually like to go and get, go in the drawing for the free Daniel defense gun.
Yeah, I know that's where that was going. I know.
Yeah,
you try to get you a free Daniel defense.
Right. I'm trying to get me a free Daniel defense. Shit, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just standing there, and this tall guy comes up to me and say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "What's up?" And he was like, "So you having a good time?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay, it's cool." He said, "You think about buying, you hope you get your gun?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a lone chance, but hey, it's fun just watching the people, hype up the crowd and everything." So he said, "So what do you do for a living?" And I told him, the glamour part of my what I do. I'm a PR representative with the Jacksonville Jaguars, NFL. And he's like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, we're right down the street from Daniel Defense, because they're right outside of Savannah." And he said, "Yeah." I said, "So we're just shooting the shit, And I said, "Oh, so you work for them?" And he said, "Yeah, you can say that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, what department do you work in?" So he had this little look on his face, and he wanted to laugh. He said, "Well, yeah, I own the place." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool." And so him and I, we started laughing. Then he said, "So man, I love football." I said, "Well, come on down sometime, man. We would love, for me, I deal with multi-million-dollar athletes, on a weekly basis. So for me, I'm not starstruck as far as seeing, a celebrity. Okay, let's get that straight. So, when I'm talking, I guess he's used to people being starstruck. And I'm talking to him like I'm talking to KD, TIVAN, or you, Hank. And so I'm like, "Hey, man, come on down sometime, man. And he's like, "Man, I come down there often." He said, "When I come down there," he said, "Here's my information. Text me your information, and when I come down there, man, we'll hang out." And I told him, I said, "Hey, before we do that, I want to let you know that I'm glad that you changed your stance on what you said." And he was kind of taken aback by that, because I'm sure there hadn't been too many people that have said that to him face to face. I'm like, I'm glad that you, especially a nobody like me, and I said, "I'm glad you changed your stance." And he said, "Yeah, I just felt that it was the right thing to do." Getting back to now, present day now, and I always wonder how genuine it is. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't tell if a person's lying to me or not. But I can tell you that he did seem to be genuine with his response to me, and knowing that I'm a nobody and who he is, and he's a multi-millionaire, I'm sure, and he said, "You know what? I want to let you know, personally, that we all made mistakes. I know I made a mistake, and I'm glad I did it. I came out with, how I really felt, and, we left it at that." So that was my little story there.
Okay.
Hey, you just give him Hank's phone number. We'll all have a big powwow. We'll go down to the hacienda. I'll drag down a big roaster. We'll put a 300-pound pig in there and let it cook for about 3 days on a rotisserie. We got him covered, man.
I personally, I don't want to waste my time fighting losing battles. I think there's and I have a Daniel defense gun and stuff like that, but I think there's just certain people that I think in the end he did something that he wanted to do. This is what it sounds like you said. He did something he wanted to do, then he realized that it was a big mistake, and he stepped back from that. And
I think he was just testing the waters when he did it.
No, I think the pushback that he got made him realize that if you want to close down your company really fast and put the entire company out of business, keep going in that direction. And I think, yes, it is a good thing that he learned that lesson. I think more people need to understand that, like we've been talking about this whole time, the things that you're willing to give away and give up will eventually be your downfall. We have to come to a point where we stop giving up things and we start taking back the things we've given up in the past. But a lot of these guys don't understand that. And of course, it's very easy to not understand that if you're making tens of millions of dollars every year off of selling these things, and you get disconnected from the reality of the people out there that this is really important to them, and they don't want to spend all this money buying something from you that becomes totally useless to them, that they have to give up or give away or destroy when the government says so, and that you open the doors for other people to go out there and do that to them.
All because he wanted to get military contracts and made more money than selling to the civilians.
Yeah. So I'm not super mad at those guys or anything like that, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of bullshit going on, and I think it's cool. You know, it's cool that you had that conversation with him, Rod. I just think that there's a lot of bullshit going on, and these guys should know better. But there's just some kind of disconnect that's happening, and a lot of them just don't realize any better than this until they get that huge pushback from people and they realize, wow, our business could stop dead in its tracks tomorrow.
Well, money will blind you sometimes. You know, success will blind you sometimes. So, you know, if it was only for a couple of seconds that he came down and met me at my level and understood, you know, at least I can say that, you know what, we had a conversation. The guy seemed to be pretty genuine, and, you know, hopefully he doesn't make that type of mistake in the future, you know. So
well, that tells me, Rob, that you're a man of great integrity and honor and self-respect for a man that supposedly in his position that, you know, can have the conversation and know that it's from a trustworthy you know, person.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole thing.
And it wasn't just a 5-minute conversation. Hell, we stood over there together for about 30 minutes. As a matter of fact, hell, I was trying to leave, and he kept reeling me back in. So
yeah,
you know,
I think they should do more of that. And you shouldn't necessarily. I suggest to companies, don't wait until you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't wait until your ass is about to be handed to you. You know, talk to the people out there now. There's lots of people. There's people like Kevin Dixie. There's so many different people out there, you know, that you could talk to. You don't even have to talk to me if you feel like I'm a big mouth or whatever it is. You know, I kind of agree with John Dieter made this statement here. He says, I sometimes think the second is down to 1.25.
Wow. Hey, I got a tidbit whenever you're ready.
Go ahead. Hit us with it.
Okay, Mr. Cruz, the suspect from the Parkland, Florida shooting, was formally indicted on murder charges on Wednesday, the same day the Florida House passed gun legislation. They went in and tried to pass a bunch of stuff, but the so-called accused killer was charged.
Okay. That guy should be, he should have been in the electric chair already. Yeah. I don't know why we're wasting time. Yeah, I don't know why we're wasting time, money, and energy on him. He should be toast already.
Yeah, well, supposedly he was supposed to get like $800,000 from his parents passing away. Apparently that money's not there or whatever. He's broke. So the state has to go in and pay for his attorneys and stuff.
Hey guys, on a lighter note, I finally got me a Hank Strange patch. After constant begging, please.
Let me guess. Did you pay for it? Yeah, no, you didn't. Yeah,
not in money. I did.
Oh, wait a minute, Kevin.
Hey, man. Okay.
No, wait a second. I don't know. What is that implying?
Whoa.
You guys are incredible.
I will tell you, when we're talking about stories, interesting people. Look, so I had a lot of conversations with a lot of interesting guys at NRA, and outside of just gun stuff. Tell you, one of the dudes that I have a ton of respect for, after just sitting talking to him, the VSO channel, good guy. I like him. I really like him. I had a nice sit down and a powwow with some cigars and some whiskey with John Patton. That was a good conversation. Had a lot of good conversations with a lot of good people, but I spent, it's a few of us that spent the better part of about close to 13 hours legitimately with this guy. And that's a Tig from 13 hours. That's John. Okay. John Tig. And let me tell you, that dude is a solid guy. Like, he don't let that celebrity get to him. He's a solid guy. And when we spent so much time just talking about life, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't ask him to go into the gory details of what happened. He just got to be a guy, right? And so, you know, the optics of it, when people are like, oh, the Second Amendment isn't this or it isn't that, like, he was literally with 3 or 4 black dudes that like hopping in cars with us and riding around Dallas for like 10 hours, you know, to the wee hours of the morning. And I think people should see more of that. But I would just like to give a big shout out to Tig, man. He was a really, really solid guy. Really, really good dude. You know, a lot of people don't know that.
Hey, Kevin, another thing, speaking of odd couples, I was surprised to see Ted Nugent come and hang out with us.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was real interesting. I mean, like he was having a pretty good time.
Yeah.
And I didn't really necessarily at that time know the story behind Ted Nugent. And you know, I think your buddy kind of schooled me.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent goes live on Facebook a lot, dude. Yeah. He does all kind of gun stuff, hunting stuff, or just random chatting and talking. Does he still do the his radio show and stuff?
I think so.
I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
All I know is that was
Oklahoma Senate passes constitutional carry gun bill sent to the governor.
Okay. Hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
And I wanted to wait until I came on the show.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on, here we go.
Is this a question of a sexual nature?
No, it is not.
Is this a question about my hair?
No, it is not.
Rod Mills, like, you know, he's like
he's
enamored about my hair. I don't know. He doesn't think my hair is real for some reason.
Hey, that ain't nothing but berries and juice.
Yeah. Natural berries and juices.
Hey, I commandeered this. You guys probably can't see it because of the light shine.
What is
it? ATI coin.
Yeah, this is a ATI challenge coin. Can you tell me what a challenge coin is? I kept it. It looks
the holder of a challenge coin must buy everyone hats.
Yep.
Yeah. If the person who has a challenge coin, when they're on a show with other dudes, they have to buy those dudes whatever hats their hearts so desire. Okay, wait, did you just throw that coin down?
I'll just give it to Kevin Dixie then.
Does it say on there, Rod, what the challenge is or the challenge that you completed?
It says the beauty of the Second Amendment is that it will not be needed until they try to take it. Nice words.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things that was given away at the ATI booth. We gave away ATI minis, like this, the AR. One of those got given away.
Brian Harris got one, right?
Yeah. We gave away the AK as well. Some handguards and things like that from the ATI booth. Those guys are very generous. Of course, they had stickers. Where you going, TIVan?
I didn't get to see the AK one.
The AK one is still in the box right here. No, actually, no, it's not in that box. Oh, it's in this box right here. That's the AK kit. So the ATI minis are out. There you go. We haven't even taken this one out of the box yet.
Let me check it.
Boom!
I sneak it over
here. You want to check it out? Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
See it. Oh, it's got the 3 bullets and everything.
TIVan has cups. You guys should try to get some cups from the TIVan show.
Hey, TIVan, I want one of those Kool-Aid cups. All right, so leave me one.
But this cup has a hole in it. I don't know why.
No,
I don't know why there's a hole.
The line
I know it's below the line, but why do you have a hole in your cup?
Why is there a hole in the cup?
I don't know.
Upside down. It runs the water.
You guys see that, right? You can see that. There's a hole in there.
Is that inside of the cup or just
no? It's on the outside. It's on the rim on the outside there. But
that way, when you stick it in the dishwasher and you wash it, the water runs out of it.
It's on both sides.
Microwavable and dishwasher safe.
You could put a little chain around this. These are like prison. These are prison cups. I'm pretty sure that you put a little rope around there, and you can have it. You can walk around with your cup around your neck. I don't know. It's something TIVan invented these.
No, I didn't. I just bought them. Well, see, I do the gaming stuff on YouTube, so I have a bunch of kids that follow me. And I got swag that would be kid-friendly. Well, then when all this gun stuff started coming up, that's when I started getting involved. And I reached out, found Hank, and, doing all this gun stuff because I am prior service. I am a disabled veteran, and I believe in all this. And I have a real hard time with this hog kid in Florida who doesn't understand failed history. And if you don't understand history, you're doomed to repeat it. So I started getting involved in the gun stuff. But that's stuff that I have for my gaming and everything. I have a bunch of kids that follow me.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. By the way, I just want to remind everyone we're like 167. We've got like 15 minutes left here on the show. And we've got like, I don't know, 170 people or something watching. I think we can get to 200 thumbs ups right now. Come on, people. Help us get there. I think we can get what do we need? We need like 35 more thumbs ups, which is well within the audience of the people out there. I think it can be done. It can
we
be done.
reach 200. I'll give away 2 steaks.
Oh boy.
We need thumbs ups. See, I'm in the studio.
Wait, okay, Rod Mills is disqualified, right?
Yeah. Sorry, panel. I'll give you a discount code though.
Yeah.
Damn.
Rod Mills is about to pick up that challenge coin again.
Hey, Gorilla and Guns. You know, hook a brother up now if you get you now. Remember what I did for you.
Yeah, okay. Did anyone see what is this? Okay. This is the hype. Go ahead.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Safari Land. I've gotten it to where it's like an annual thing where I go to the Safari Land booth and they give me either 60 or 40% off coupon to be able to buy their products online. And so the guy kind of he knows me now. He said, "Hey, you the guy that always give the discount coupons." So I'm like, "Yeah." And then so what I do is this as a show of support. I actually show him or show them what I actually buy with the discount coupon, and you know, so it's like a way for them to be able to see, you know, that I'm just not giving it away to anything. I'm wasting it. I'm actually using it. Yeah. Oh no, I'm using it. but Tyvan, here's a Polymer 80 patch that next time I see Hank, I'll give it to you. Okay, I'll leave it with him. Or
you got to see the wall of gloriness that Walter's got in front of his store with all the patches and everything. Man. He's got a collection, dude. He's got a collection of patches, dude.
Another thing, what I like to do is when I go to NRA,
we're calling this segment like all the free stuff that Kevin, not Kevin Dixie, that Rod Mills.
I was like, I don't know if anybody else is noticing the trend in his conversation for the last 2 hours.
We know why Rod goes to NRA, man.
His airline ticket was free. He reminded me he didn't get free stuff from me.
Yeah,
he get discounts at least to save money.
Which is stuff. Part of him getting more free stuff from you.
Exactly. Like, at least you're consistent, man. I give you that.
Yeah, I am consistent, but I love going to the NRA and getting stickers. And these stickers that I get, they actually go on my safe.
Did you pay for them?
No, hell no. For stickers?
I'm just making sure we're keeping up with the trend.
Come on now, Kevin. Stickers.
Got like 8 minutes.
Black Sword Shinobi wants to see. He wants to see patch porn and gun porn.
I don't have patch porn. I got Gorn.
Yeah, I didn't bring.
I got the world's biggest patch right here, and let me tell you what, it fits perfectly right there. Just Velcro it. Walk around. See, there it is.
Yeah. All right.
Should we give this away? No, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Don't you dare. Don't you give away my sign.
Hey, Hank, where can we buy and get a sign like that though?
I don't know. We're not selling them or anything. There's only that one sign right now.
No, I mean like who actually made it for you so we can contact them.
Oh, that was Michael here at the studio. Mm-hmm. He's in charge.
Yeah, there's no name or anything on it.
Merchandising and stuff like that. So he put that together so that we could have it there in the background.
Oh, okay.
So by the way, check out. You want to see some porn?
Oh, CZ.
Look at that beautiful CZ right there.
Oh, you got CZs? Okay, okay.
See, you don't even have to look with that well there. What? Just put it in.
Hey,
what?
Hey, KD, why when I was at NRA and I saw that big H&K sign, I thought you may be around lurking.
I was at the booth a couple of times.
Oh, okay, all right.
What is the coolest thing you guys saw out there? This like
can I go first?
I don't even have a thing to say, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I had two cool things. One was Hank, when you and I and Lola, we were at the Holosun, and we're talking to the representative there. Holosun has a new. It's like a not the MRO. What is it? The one that goes on top of the Glock. The red dot.
Armory style.
Yeah. They have a Armory that went through a similar torture test as the Trigicon, and it is going to be price pointed around $300. And Miami SWAT has purchased them for their SWAT team. So look for Hollison in, I think he said the fourth quarter this year that they should be coming out. So look for them later on this year. And then also, Hank, when we were at the Henry booth, I'm
just gonna throw this up there while you're talking.
That lever action tactical gun that they had, I like that as well.
The X-Type from Henry Rifle. Someone was asking about that earlier. There is a video that I think went up today.
Yeah, it is.
That's on the Hank Strange channel that you guys could go check out, where we were talking to the guys from Henry. Those are pretty cool. That's Midwest Industries is making that stuff that you can add on. So there you go. Something has tickled Kevin's funny bone.
Oh man, it was just
Walter's watching.
I can't show it. It was something that came across my phone, but it's inappropriate for this show.
You can't share it with the rest of the class, Kevin?
No, man, not that.
Come on, stand up in front of the class.
Nope.
I think we need to see, Kevin.
Not at all. You want to see a gun? I got a gun.
No.
I ain't showing that. No, sir.
Okay.
Back out, hit the button. There it goes.
Okay, delete.
delete. All right. Yeah, that was strange. But I have as far as products at the show, honestly, I didn't get to go see any. So I would say, and it's going to sound a little cheesy because people are going to say I have a bias. I would say one of the coolest things I saw at the show, though, was the growth of a lot of the small businesses, especially the Pew Pew Life name brand, Coleon's Clothes. The fact that he had his own booth was a pretty cool deal. So I like to see the man's growth and see where he's going.
What was that? Go ahead, Rod Mills. What are you throwing up there?
Oh, no, Kevin, you keep talking. I just...
Rod Mills throwing up booty.
I don't.
He's throwing up booties.
I mean, I don't look at those kind of pictures.
Booties.
Yeah.
Look at Tyvin. Tyvin's trying to go all in his computer screen.
Kevin is a preacher man.
Hey, when I'm up there like that, I was like, yeah, check that out.
All right, so Kevin, look at what she has in her hand, though. That's what I'm really trying to show, right?
I mean, it's kind of blurry.
Well, she's got a AK.
No, that's not an
AK.
Not
an AK.
That's not. Oh, damn, that's an AR. That's
I know that. Now I don't feel so bad about calling that a Big Daddy gun side when it's an extra side.
Right, you must not have seen my latest Facebook post today.
I've been on your Facebook
post. And it's funny that you would show that because I'm trying to let people know that although beautiful women and guns are definitely a great mix, and I like the fact they mix like that. That is great. Here's the post I put up on social media today.
Wait, hold on. Let me lock it in. Why are 2A folks shocked when pretty girls flip on gun rights?
Oh, I saw that.
I'm from. We learned a long time ago. Never trust a big butt and a smile.
I saw, Kevin, like Kevin, Katie, I think I like that. Yeah.
Like so that I mean, she cool, but
check this out. Raphael, he's sending me pictures. Some lever actions that are a little
Henry, and I didn't get to see those. Like I really didn't get to see those.
Man, you missed it.
I didn't get to see those. Next year I'm gonna try to make it around more booths, but I do have a new gun in the family. I have one of those.
Isn't it in Indianapolis next year?
Oh, that's a CZ. Wait, let's see.
Yeah, this is CZSP09. Well, P09. Sorry, I don't know why I always say SP, but yeah, this is one of the newest members of my family. Decided to get into the CZs.
When'd you get that?
I got it. I don't know. I think like a month and a half ago. I haven't shot it.
You've been keeping that a secret, huh?
I mean, I just never. I don't get to really. Be honest with you, and this is not like an arrogant statement, but sometimes I just get guns and I put them up, and I'm like, oh.
Did you get a good deal on this? I'm assuming you got a good deal on
it. Oh, dude, yes, yeah. This was nice. I think I paid.
Damn, Kevin.
$275 or $300.
What? Kevin.
Hey, check out Big Daddy Guns Unlimited.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tyvin. You're the man. That's why you get to hang out with us.
Damn, Tyvin's got some
links in the description. Links in the description, baby.
Yeah, I got this guy. So
you're not going to get that kind of price that Kevin got. That's just
It's still worth checking out.
Is that new or used, Kevin?
It was barely used.
Barely used? Oh.
Hey, look, I will take a used gun in a heartbeat.
Oh, me too.
Like people crack me up. Oh, I want mine to be brand new. What?
No.
Look, man, I'll take a used gun in a heartbeat. But no, this was so it's gonna be interesting. I'm going to I don't know. I'll be shooting this one, I guess, sometime soon. Whatever.
15-1, 15 in the clip. One.
I think in a what?
In a what?
In a what?
Did he say clip? Did he say
clip? It's a 19+1 in the magazine on this show, buddy.
Magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected.
All right. No, it's 19-1, which is a pretty. I mean, it's a big. Now, apparently, a lot of guys that have shot this are like when I told them I had one, they're like their jaws dropped. They're like, "Oh, dude, that's like the best polymer shooting." I'm like, "You going a bit far, but I'll see. I don't know. I got one now, so I'll shoot it. We'll see."
Yeah,
it's cool.
You got a pretty good deal on it. That's without a doubt.
The deal. That's why I didn't pass it up. And then when I was like,
yeah,
that was like, it's a CZ you can get. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. CZs are nice guns. And like, yeah, and you can pay. What? Bring me that gun. Wherever that gun is, bring it here.
Yeah.
So
we are 19 away from 200. Come on, people. You got to hit these thumbs up there. Crying out loud. Get those thumbs ups going. We're getting close over there.
I'll tell you.
Isn't NRA in Indianapolis next year?
It is in Indy, yes.
Yes.
I'll tell you another interesting conversation I had, and I didn't know who the hell it was until we were 15 minutes into our conversation. I'm just giving my spiel about what I do to people that asked, and I wound up having a long talk, and I didn't know who he was to the end of the conversation with the owner of Timothy Triggers. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting guy. Walked around real low key. Timothy Triggers. Walked around real low key, very unassuming, just a guy having conversations. So he was a good guy to talk to. A lot of good people. I did like the looks on some of the people's faces as they were walking by looking at Iron Man. Did you see that?
Oh, the guy in the Iron Man suit?
Yeah, in the Iron Man suit. That was hilarious. That was funny because some kids like really couldn't figure out if it was real or fake. And I understand because I couldn't either until I saw him move. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was fun.
I saw him drop something and then someone had to go pick it up.
But that was kind of cool. I didn't go to any of the speeches or the demonstrations, like even the product demos. I'll tell you what, man, it seems like 3 days is a long time. It's just not. Stuff flies by. And it doesn't help too when you're hanging out with the wrong people and you're not getting in to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I didn't get in the first night until 6:15 into my hotel. And had to be right back up and at the show at 9.
Yeah, I don't think Rod Mills went to sleep.
Oh, hell yeah, I went to sleep, man. I left the cigar thing about 12:30-ish because, everybody that knows me knows I'm not a drinker. And I let I think I let Marge and Katie and some more folks peer pressure me into
come on.
Now it's KD's fault.
Yeah.
Did you have Long Island iced teas?
Look
at it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hush your mouth. Keep talking.
This would be an appropriate time to take out the video of Kevin.
No, but
I think Miss Dixie needs to see that video.
Hey, man law, bro. Man law.
Man, let those guys talk me into taking like 3 shots. I had to stay there. I took that shot around 10:30. I had to stay there until about 12:30 just to, so I was able to drive back, get it. And then, it was cool to have some, I think, Argo had like a $45 or $50 cigar or something like that. I'm like,
oh, yeah, he had a couple of them.
Wow.
Argo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most expensive one I saw there was like $80.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my
There goes the cuteness. The cuteness is in the building.
They bumped that price up about 50%.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi.
What's up?
Yeah, you can say it.
Hey, what's going on?
I can hear you.
Hey, what's going on?
They're saying, I know you got earphones in. They're saying hi back. They're saying hi back to everybody.
Okay, one quick thing I'm going to do before.
Bear, come back here, Barry. I want to see.
Now, Kaylin, here's what we don't do. You see how creepy men use teddy bears?
Exactly. Rod Mills is that guy with a white man.
No, you don't pay attention to teddy bears. Do we talk to strangers? Do we talk to strangers?
No, but I like teddy bears.
No, but you don't let strangers trick you with teddy bears.
I know. I just love teddy bears.
But you don't let the strangers use teddy bears to get your attention.
I know.
But
like
stop saying you know and then saying that you like teddy bears.
If you know, act like you know.
You're right, act like you know, lady.
Kevin, just so you know, that was my daughter's teddy bear when she was.
I know. I get what you're doing.
Whatever. A likely story. A likely story. Let me just read this news real quick here, and then we can wrap up because it's after 9 o'clock. Although I'm still waiting for us to hit 200 thumbs ups on this.
We're not getting up until we get 200, y'all.
So check it out. So this is the truth about guns. Another month, another sales record, and another million guns find homes.
Hey,
million guns. Good.
Yeah.
Those are rookie numbers, though. We got to get those numbers up.
Yeah, they said 1,004,000 of NICS checks last month. So damn.
How many Walther bucks?
I don't know how much money that was spent on guns, but you know, it keeps going up, which is a good thing. There's more and more people getting into the gun world, hopefully learning about their rights, hopefully paying very close attention to what's happening here. So
I'm paying attention to.
I think there was 2 more counties in Illinois that are now pro-gun sanctuary counties.
Good.
Yeah.
Tyvin, I love those pimped out earphones you got.
I just grabbed them off the desk, man. My other headset died, and I was like, man, I got to have something. I'll get massive echo.
We're 11 thumbs ups away. Come on, people. Come on.
Hit the thumbs. Hit the thumbs. Was there any other cool things that happened at the show? Because I know after this week, nobody wants to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
What happened? What else happened at the show? I don't know. I will say this though. Oh man, did you see all that the gold that they had there? Like that loft sunken ship gold?
No.
Somebody actually wound up showing me a picture of it. But it was a family up there that had brought, I guess it was literally on a pirate ship, and it was pulled up. And they brought it and they had it in a big display case where you see like 100 years old gold bars.
3 more thumbs ups. Come on, guys.
And
3 more thumbs ups.
Apparently it was like millions and millions of dollars worth of bars, and that was the only place that had all the guards, because they got found out because their coats weren't that tight. A bunch of the guards were carrying MP5s up under their jackets.
Oh yeah.
Guarding and stuff, and I bet they weren't select fire either. I bet they were select fire. I'm sorry, but that was kind of cool to see that there. And of course, obviously, you're gonna have some really good security around it, so that was cool. Let's see what else happened good at the show. Of course, you had Trump Jr. walking around as he normally does. I guess the last couple of years he's been doing that.
By the way, we've got Miss Cherry Wine. Miss Cherry Wine is in the chat. She's in the chat.
Hi, baby. By the way, you probably can't see her, but she's sitting in the shadows.
She's in the light. She's behind the light. Don't go towards the light, Tyvin. Don't go towards the light.
It's glorious, the love.
Yeah. Okay, so we hit 200. All right.
Oh, yeah, 200. Now we can go. And before we go, I'm gonna give Hank the burn of the day. So Hank, I got pulled into doing a live broadcast while I was at the show. I was in the press room, and Clover Tack pulled me over and he was like, "Hey man, can you hop on my live?" So I did, and somebody said something about there being more black people at the show, and they brought your name up, and I said Hank's not black. I said Hank's not black because have you seen his car?
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying, man. Like that puts you at some other level. I don't know what level it is.
Hateration.
Hey, Kevin, I was getting ready to leave the cigar thing. Hank's car was parked by my truck, my rental car truck, and so my rental car truck was on. Then I hear this, and I'm like, man, what the hell is wrong with the engine in this truck? So the guy that was with me, he was like, I think that's Hank's car. We roll the window down, Hank out there revving the engine up on the car. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he was showing off. I had the RS Camaro, and I walk over just to look at the man's vehicle because, I don't know if you told everybody what it is, so I'm not going to say it, but I walk over to look at the vehicle. I'm looking at the vehicle. I get a man a couple of compliments. You think man would just say, all right, man, right on, appreciate it. That's it? No. Hank says, oh, well, I thought you came over because you wanted to race or something. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay.
No, I like the Camaro that you rented. That was cool.
The Camaro?
Can't call it Camaro.
I'm a fan of it's Camaro.
It's Camaro.
It's a Camaro.
Did you tell everybody, Hank? Did you tell everybody what you got?
Yes, it's an Audi R8 V10. That's what it is.
I got exclusive round the shot video, and then Hank started the car and
yeah.
So we got a video coming up.
Yeah. Looks like Walter is in there. Walter, you better give us a thumbs up. We're getting ready to wrap it up. So let's start. I'm gonna start from Rod Mills. He Rod Free Money Mills.
Free Money Mills.
Okay, tell us what's going on with you, Rod.
Right now, man, just taking it easy, man. You know, enjoying the last couple of months of my freedom because once training camp starts, I will be balls to the ground until maybe January, hopefully with the NFL. Okay. So yeah, so and I'll try to get in a couple of weekends and when I can go do some shooting, and hopefully I can get Kevin Dixie down here and we can go shoot some pigs.
All right. You said what, hogs?
Yeah, hogs. Yeah.
And okay. You want a hat?
Hey, thank you.
Now you want to give up a hat, huh? Oh,
sure.
That's all you had to say in the first place. You dog hunting. Wow.
I'll be. We can come do some hunting. I'll probably come down to Florida when it get cold up here. Give me an excuse to run away.
So what's up with you, Kevin?
Let's see. We got the NOC wear out. So you guys please hop over there, click on the links on the Facebook and all that, and Instagram. Go support, buy a hat. They are actually very, very nice hats. Follow on all the social medias. You guys know how to find me by now. Don't forget about the Patreon. The Forge from Freedom, there is a NOC store now. So please hop on Forge from Freedom. We got about 6 or 7 more designs going to be popping up in the next week. But there are a couple of designs out there. The Burrow King, you guys requested that, right? It's out there. Go get it. Forge from Freedom. Go to the NOC store. Grab it. Send me the photos. You asked for it. It happened. Go get it. There's also the Violence is a Problem, Accuracy is the Solution shirt. I think everybody should be wearing that. Go grab it. Support. Outside of that, I got a couple of productions with NRA TV should be coming out in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. I have my own internal productions that should be kicking up. I am just to let you guys know, always remaining with the gunfight, but I'm also going to be documenting some local stories that are more humane, kind of dealing with just the human aspect to kind of focus in on what we do for Aiming for the Truth. So I'm going to bring you guys into the personal life of some people. I think it's going to be really, really good to show the side how the representative, which I am, of our community goes out and talks to and digs deeper into people's lives when even we're not talking about firearms. So that'll be out there. So a lot of an exciting summer, man. So be looking for Aiming for the Truth is hitting the road. Columbia, South Carolina, July 21st. Memphis, Tennessee, September 1st. I should be maybe doing a speaking engagement next month in the Windy City. So you may or may not see Maj Toure and Kevin Dixie on the same stage at the same time. It may happen. And other than that, man, pushing and living life. That's about it.
Awesome. Okay, TheTIvanShow. What's going on with you?
I appreciate it. First, I want to shout out and say a big, huge thanks to you, Lola, and especially to Walter this week. Got to go do something that was just totally amazing and got to shoot. And I really, seriously, from my heart, thank you. I couldn't ask for a better time. So thank you. Other than that, just doing the gaming. And we've got some video of you and all the shooting and everything. I'll post it on the TheTIvanShow, and we'll post some of it over on Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded. So make sure you guys check out all the links in the description below. And thanks. So follow me on Twitter at TheTIvanShow. I announce everything I do there. So that's the best way to even get a hold of me is tweet me.
Okay, awesome. You're welcome. Thanks to you and Cherry Wine for coming out and hanging out with us as well. You know, we had a great time. There we go. Also, Safety Harbor for hanging out with us. There will be some videos that'll go up here shortly. So thanks for coming out. Thanks to Kevin, Dixie, Rod Mills for coming in.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome. There you go. Thanks for the guys for coming in. Thanks for everyone for hanging out with us in the chat. Don't forget to go to hankstrange.tv and put in your email so that you can get on our newsletter. You can stay notified and keep up with us and all the things that's going on. Shout out to everyone that sponsors us: Big Daddy Guns, Safety Harbor Firearms, Andrew's Custom Leather, as well as ATI Outdoors. There they go. And the folks that are on Patreon, that are patrons. Shout out to you guys. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. We are out of here. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
See you, everybody.